Hi, this is the Eli West Show. How are we doing today? Alright, so let's get into it. Today, we're going to talk about why this country is so divided. Okay? And that's a $1,000,000 question that you need to ask yourself. Why is this country so divided? First of all, before we get started, I want to apologize for the lighting, okay? I know the lighting is crap, but bear with me. We're going to get through this video. So make sure you hit the like button and make sure you hit the subscribe button. And again, I apologize for the light. I know the light is crap, but let's get into it. And make sure you hit the like button and make sure you hit the subscribe button. Okay. So, why is this country so divided? Well, the reason why this country is so divided is because of the fact that we have a two-party system. Listen to me and listen to me well. We have a two-party system. We have Republicans and Democrats. Republicans and Democrats. Donkey, and elephants. Elephants and donkeys. Okay? We have two political parties here in the United States. Now, let's go over the reason why the reason why people do party line votes. And this is one reason why this country is so divided. Me personally, I don't get involved in politics because I already know politics is corrupt. I already know that this country is $32 trillion in debt. Almost more, $38 trillion in debt. And I know that none of the parties are going to be able to fix it. Guys, let me just say this to you. You got to remember, this country is in debt. $32 trillion in debt. Let me say that again. $32 trillion in debt. Why anybody wants to participate in this political election, you're either being stupid or you're just not paying attention. Because this country is $32 trillion in debt. This is one reason why I do not participate in any elections. But let's get into it. The reason why this country is so divided, because if you notice, if you watch the news, you got red states and blue states. You got blue states and red states. That's what's keeping us divided. Now let's go over the political parties, and you're going to understand why I don't vote. Okay, so let's start off with Democrats. Why do I have a problem with Democrats? Oh, and don't worry, we'll get into Republicans. I'm not gonna let the Republicans off the hook, okay? Because the Republicans contribute to our debt. Believe it or not, the Republicans contribute to our debt. But right now, let's focus on Democrats. What is my biggest problem with Democrats? Well, let me tell you. The problem with Democrats is they think in order to fix this country, they can just raise taxes. Okay? That's what Democrats think. Democrats think that they can just raise taxes and that's how you're going to fix the country, right? Well, I have a problem with that. And if you're a Democrat, you're being stupid with your thinking, and I'm going to explain why. Higher taxes equals inflation. Okay? I want you to bear with me now. Higher taxes equals inflation. If you watch the news, inflation went up 7.5%. So, if you are a stupid Democrat, which you are, you're a stupid Democrat, and you think that in order to fix the country is by raising taxes, that's foolish thinking. And you might argue, you might say, well, you're helping the poor. No, you're not. Because if taxes go up, inflation goes up. That means if inflation goes up, things are more expensive. That means poor people, the people that you claim to protect, the people that you claim to love, the people that you want to protect, they end up getting hurt the most. Why? Because higher taxes equals higher inflation. Like I said earlier, this country is 32, almost $38 trillion in debt. None of the politicians plan on paying that debt back. Here's the stupidity. Here's the stupidity. You have a lot of ignorant voters that they know that the debt is never going to get paid back, but they keep voting the same way over and over and over again. They keep kicking the can over and over and over again. And it's not because they want to help the poor. No, because we just went over higher taxes kills jobs and it equals inflation. Every time I get into an argument with the Democrats, I always ask the Democrat, the ignorant Democrat. You are very ignorant if you're a Democrat, by the way. But I always ask them this question. Debt keeps rising. Inflation keeps rising. How do you fix the economy? And the Democrats always give us the same stupid answer. The same stupid answer is just raise taxes. I'm like, what? Dude, I just said to you, inflation is going up. Taxes are higher. Inflation is higher. How do you fix the economy? And the same stupid Democrats give me the same stupid answer. Just raise taxes. What? What? Just raise taxes? If the economy is collapsing, and we're already raising taxes as it is, inflation is already going up, how the hell are you just think you're just going to raise taxes? But see, that's the problem with the Democrats. Their logic is, we're going to just raise taxes, and we're going to just act like taxes going up and inflation going up is not going to bother anything. That's stupid thinking. The Democrats also want to put the rich against the poor. Now, what is that called? That's called class warfare, right? We call that class warfare. Whenever you put the rich against the poor, what is that called? Class warfare. That kind of thinking is dangerous. Here's why. This is what the ignorant voter needs to understand. Whenever you try to put the rich against the poor, that's called class warfare. Why is class warfare so dangerous? Here's why. A man that is successful is going to stay successful. But you, as an ignorant person, you as an ignorant poor person, you are never going to be successful. You know why? Because you keep trying to tear down successful people. See, what you ignorant voters need to understand is it's not the rich person's fault that you're broke. Let me say that again. It's not the rich person's fault that you're broke. You got to stop blaming people for your failure. You failed because of you. Now, if you fail, just get back up and try again, right? Just get back up and try again. It's like that song. If you first don't succeed, you can get up and try again. You can get up and try again. Try again. Yeah, that song is from Aaliyah. Aaliyah sung that song, and Romeo, I think the movie was called Romeo Must Die. If you first don't succeed, you can get up and try again. You can get up and try again. Try again. But here's the thing. You as a poor person, you should not blame rich people for your failure. You failed in life. So doing this class warfare is pointless because you failed in life. Now you want to blame rich people for your failure. No, you need to get over yourself. You need to learn a skill, learn a trade, and build yourself up. Quit blaming rich people for your failure. One of the biggest problems that I have with the Democrats is the Democrats want to divide and conquer. They want to put the rich against the poor. That's why they say stupid things like the rich don't pay their fair share, the rich don't pay their fair share, the rich don't pay their fair share, blah, 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 etc., etc. Here's the reality, folks. You are poor not because of some greedy rich guy. You are poor because of you. You got to quit blaming other people for your problem. If you don't succeed, it's your fault. You got to stop blaming other people for your problem. Okay? It's not the rich guy's fault that you did not succeed. So one of the biggest problems that I have with the Democrats are trying to divide and conquer. This is why this country is so divided. Okay? It's not rich people's fault that you're poor. You need to stop blaming rich people for your problems, and you got to look at yourself in the mirror and realize you are responsible for you. Okay? Now let's move on. Let's talk about the Republicans. Why? Oh, why do I hate Republicans? Here's why I hate the Republicans. The Republicans call themselves a fiscal conservatives. But here's the problem with that. Every time they're in office, they're the main ones that raise taxes. So you Republicans are hypocrites because you call yourself a fiscal conservative, but whenever your butt gets into office, you're the main ones that want to raise taxes. Oh, and speaking of Republicans and speaking of taxes, when George W. Bush was in office, George W. Bush went to war in Iraq and went to war in Afghanistan, and that war crippled our country because we spent $7 trillion in that war, and that was back in 2007. And then by the year 2020, we had spent over $22 trillion in Afghanistan. You Republicans always call yourself fiscal conservatives, but the minute you get a chance to raise taxes, you do. So shut your mouth about being a fiscal conservative. No, you are not. Another problem that I have with the Republicans is the Republicans always want to talk about social issues. Okay? The Republicans always want to talk about social issues. Word of advice to Republicans, stay away from social issues. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why you should stay away from social issues. Let me explain. If I am a Democrat, let's pretend I'm a Democrat. Just throw it out there. Let's just pretend, okay? Pretend that I'm a Democrat. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to call you a religious zealot, racist, homophobic, prejudice, racist, sexist, whatever is, right? You just fell right into my trap by talking about social issues. Okay? First of all, if you read the Bible, nowhere do you read Jesus getting involved in politics. Since you wanna try to use the Bible as an excuse to get into politics, show me one scripture right now, right here, where Jesus said it is okay for his followers to get involved in politics. No, it does not say that. Matter of fact, it says, give Caesar's thing to Caesar, right? If you read Matthew and Mark, since you call yourself a Bible reader, what does Jesus say? Jesus says, give Caesar's thing to Caesar's and give God's thing to God. When Jesus was preaching, the Roman emperor said, da 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 da, and what did Jesus say? Look at the coin. Whose face do you see on the coin? And that Jewish leader said, Caesar's. And then Jesus said, give Caesar's things to Caesar's and give God's things to God. This is one reason why you, as an ignoramus, stupid Republican, this is one reason why it doesn't make sense for you to get involved in elections. Because if you're truly a Christian, then surely you would have read the part where it says, Jesus is no part of the world. Or what about when Jesus says, my kingdom is not here on this earth, but in heaven? Yeah, you Republicans need to quit. And every time I challenge a Republican on that, they always say, well, I'm an evangelical Christian. I'm an evangelical Christian. Blah, 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 blah. Look, you're an ignoramus. You're an ignoramus because nowhere in the scripture does it say get involved in politics. As a matter of fact, Jesus says the opposite. Give Caesar's things to Caesar's and give God things to God. That's what Jesus said. Jesus never told his followers to get involved in politics. He never told his followers to get involved in politics. So if you're doing that, you're simply going against God's word. How can you call yourself a Christian and get involved in politics? It doesn't make sense. So the next time a Republican calls himself an evangelical Christian, just shake your head because here's the reality. Here's the reality. There's no such thing as an evangelical Christian. Why? Because Jesus was not part of this world. I remember when I was at Home Depot, I got into an argument with this Republican. This Republican had the audacity to call himself an evangelical Christian. And I said, sir, read that to me out of the Bible. And he paused and then he goes, oh, I've been a Republican all my life, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I said, sir, read that to me out of the Bible. Where does it say evangelical Christian? You will not find that word, evangelical Christian. Jesus was no part of this world. Read Romans, the book of Romans in the Bible. The book of Romans in the Bible tells you Jesus was no part of this world. Read Matthew and Mark. When Jesus told the Jewish leader, what do you see on the coin? And the Jewish leader said, Caesar's. And then Jesus said, okay then, give Caesar's thing to Caesar's and give God's thing to God, right? So that's pretty much the message of God. God's kingdom is not going to be part of this world. God's kingdom that's coming is going to be all about God. So calling yourself an evangelical Christian, you're just being stupid now. And folks, I apologize for this lighting. I know the lighting is bad. Please forgive me. Just continue to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Okay, so now, why is this country divided? Well, let's start with the media, okay? Let's start with the media. The media, and I don't care if it's CNN, I don't care if it's Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, NCBD, ABCD, it doesn't matter. The news media has been doing biased news reporting. Biased news reporting. So this is why when average folks, average people, when they watch the media or they watch the news, they get angry. The reason why they get angry is because they don't understand the media is the reason why we are so divided as a country. The media spreads lies and propagandas, and again, it doesn't matter if it's CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, O2, it doesn't matter. The media has been spreading false propaganda. They're trying to get people angry at each other. They're trying to get rich people angry at poor people. Why? When we're all American citizens, we're supposed to love one another, right? So why are we so angry? One of the biggest tactics that the media likes to use is race. Okay? They like to use race. That is a horrible, and I do mean that is a horrible thing to do. Let me tell you why. It doesn't matter if you're black. It doesn't matter if you're white. Hell, you could be Mexican, Chinese, Puerto Rican, Cuban. It doesn't matter who you are. If you live in the United States, we're supposed to be helping each other, not dividing each other. There should not be an elephant versus a donkey. There should not be red state versus blue state. The reason why this country is so damn divided is because you got Republicans and Democrats and Republicans spreading propaganda. I remember when in North Dakota, when they wanted to do oil drilling, immediately, when North Dakota tried to do oil drilling, immediately, like seconds later, CNN did a story on that. And CNN, they just flat out lied about that whole oil drilling. This is what CNN said. CNN said, well, that's going to affect Native Americans. Pause right there. That is a lie. First of all, Native Americans benefit from that land being drilled. Let me explain why. What is the biggest contributor factor in this country? Casinos, right? Gambling casinos. How many people gamble? Lots of people do, right? Guess who benefits from those casinos? Just take a guess. Take a guess. Guess who benefits from those casinos? Native Americans. That's right. The Indians, Native Americans. So why is CNN going on broadcast criticizing drilling for oil in North Dakota? Why are they doing that? Because they're trying to divide and conquer. Let me give you another crap that CNN does and MSNBC does. Let me give you another example of the crap they try to pull. They want to try to put the rich versus the poor. Poor versus the rich. Let me tell you why that's so stupid. First of all, we need business owners. Without business owners, folks, you don't have a country. Without capitalism, you do not have a country. What country do you have? What country do you have without capitalism? You don't. And every job that I've gotten have come from who? From who? Rich people. Rich people. Not poor people, rich people. Give me the name of a poor person. Give me a name of the poor person that creates a job. You can't do it, right? Because it takes money to create a job. It takes money to create a job. I challenge you right now. Give me the name of a poor person that creates jobs. Give me the name of a poor person that creates jobs. And I will give you $1,000 out of my bank account. The reality is, it takes money to make money. Let me say that again. It takes money to make money. You cannot be a poor person and create a job. I don't care if you work at McDonald's, Pizza Hut, Little Caesars, EG's, Blockbuster, it don't matter. Those jobs came from rich people. And damn it, it's about time we stand up and say that. Those jobs came from rich people. Poor people do not create wealth. Rich people do. Let me say that again. Poor people do not create wealth. Rich people do. That's why it doesn't make any sense for you to go after rich people. Like I said earlier, if you're poor, it's pretty much your fault. You need to quit blaming rich people and just accept the fact that you lost, and quit blaming rich people for your damn failure. You failed in life. Another problem that I have with CNN is they always try to use race as an excuse to divide. It doesn't matter if you're black or white. Yeah, there are some horrible things that have happened in this country. Absolutely. We can talk about slavery, Jim Crow, etc., etc. But you as a black person got to understand, you cannot let that stop you from you living your dream. See, if you're broke, it's your fault. It's your fault. You got to quit using race as an excuse to keep you down. You live in the United States. The United States is a land of opportunity. You have the same opportunity as everyone else. So it's about damn time that we quit using race as an excuse to divide this country. Today I was watching the news and the news reporter said, this country is divided. You damn right it's divided. You know why it's divided? And this stupid news reporter, all he said was the country was divided. But he doesn't explain to you why the country's divided. You damn right this country's divided. Let me tell you why. Because you got people on the higher ups purposely trying to divide us. Every time I talk to a Democrat, I ask them the same question. How are you going to fix the economy if the economy is broken? And you know what these ignorant Democrats always tell me? You know what these ignorant voters always tell me? The same thing. They're gonna stupidly raise taxes, which is gonna cause inflation. And by the way, we're already $32 trillion in debt, almost $38 trillion in debt, by the way. The debt keeps growing, inflation keeps growing, but you like a dumb loser, you're just gonna raise taxes on people. And the only reason why you're going to raise taxes on people because you don't want to accept your failure. You don't want to accept your failure. You want to blame everybody else because you did not succeed. It's not nobody's fault that you did not succeed. And raising taxes does not help you. It hurts you. Higher taxes equals higher inflation. Okay? My ignorant friend. So the next time you vote, you need to be smarter about who you elect and think about your future too. Because believe it or not, corporations are people too. Corporations are people too. Let me say it again because I know that's going to make some people mad. Corporations are peoples too. Next, let's talk about the ignorant Republican. First of all, you need to stop being so damn ignorant. You need to stop telling people you're an evangelical Christian. No, you're not. You're not an evangelical Christian. I challenge you right now. Read that to me out of the Bible. Read that to me. Matter of fact, guys, the next time a Republican stupidly says to you he's an evangelical Christian, ask him this. Read that to me out of the Bible. Just say that. Read that to me out of the Bible. And if he can't read that to you out of the Bible, you have tried his spirit and you made him look dumb. Calling yourself an evangelical Christian is equivalent to a poor person calling himself Bill Gates. It's just so dumb to call yourself that when there's no such thing. You can't even read that out of the Bible. I challenge any one of you right now, read to me evangelical Christian. That word right there. Evangelical Christian. Read that to me. Show me where does it say that in the Bible. You can't read now one verse that says that. Because Jesus said the opposite. Jesus says, give Caesar's things to Caesar's. Jesus said, my kingdom is no part of this world. So there's no way you're going to get on here talking about you're an evangelical Christian. Read that to me. Next, you guys, let me tell you right now, inflation is going up. Taxes is going up. You say you want to help poor people? This is not how you do it. Right now in countries like India, the price of food has gone up. In India, the people there cannot afford to eat because the price of food has gone up tremendously in India. And what about Latin American countries like Venezuela? Venezuela is a Latin American country. They cannot afford to eat either. Why? because the ignorant politician in Venezuela, the ignoramus politician in Venezuela raised taxes, which equals high inflations, which tripled his debt. Now the Venezuelans in Venezuela cannot afford to eat. Let me tell you something right now. Every time they try to raise taxes, inflation always went up. If you go to countries like Venezuela, most people there cannot afford to eat. For a loaf of bread in Venezuela, you're looking at 20,000 bolivares. That's wheelbarrows after wheelbarrow of money just to buy a loaf of bread. Just to buy beans and rice in Venezuela, you're looking at 50,000 bolivares. That's wheelbarrow after wheelbarrow just to buy food in Venezuela. If you go to the Latin American countries like Venezuela, most people there cannot afford to eat because of high inflation. So you need to knock off this sign language and knock off this goofiness. Raising taxes is dumb. Higher taxes equals higher inflation, which means most of you will not be able to eat. You will not be able to afford to eat because it's going to come down to whether you eat or starve to death because you don't have the money to do so. This is why raising taxes is so dumb, because higher taxes equals higher inflation. Next, it's no accident. Let me just say this again. It is no accident that this country is divided. The reason why this country is divided is because the powers to be want us to be divided. Let me say that again. The reason why this country is divided is because the power to be want us to be divided. It is no accident that you got blacks fighting white people fighting black people. It is no accident that you got the rich versus the poor people versus rich people. That is not by accident. It's not by accident that we got so many people angry at each other. So angry that you're willing to leave your state, the state that you live in, to go somewhere else. For an example, and this is a fact, an absolute fact. Did you know the Democrats in California, they stay in California? Why? Because this country is so divided that the Democrats will not leave their state. They'll stay in California, Nevada, they'll stay in Austin, Texas. Why? Because the Democrats are stupid. They will not leave their state because they want to only talk to people that agree with them. And that is so thin skin. You only want to talk to people that agree with you. So if I disagree with you, you don't want to talk to me? You say you like Latinos, you say you like black people, you say you like minorities, but the minute a Latino or a black person disagrees with you, you no longer want to talk to them? What? That's just flat out ignorant. And then you could say the same thing vice versa for the Republicans. There are certain Republicans that don't want to talk to you if you disagree with them on a certain issue. For an example, in Houston, Texas, Dallas, Texas, where the majority of white right-wing Republicans live, they will not talk to you if they disagree with you. Oh, they would love to have your vote. They would love for you to vote for them. They just don't want you disagreeing with them. How stupid is that? What? How stupid is that? What? You only want to talk to people that you agree with? That is so childish. It would be like if I said the sky is blue and you turn around and you're like, nah, the sky is red. You and I had a disagreement, right? So now you're not going to talk to me, right? Tell me how stupid that is. Or how about this? How about this? Your religion says Jesus is great. My religion says Allah is great. Now, all because I say Allah is great, you don't want to talk to me? What? That is so childish. And no, do not call me a Muslim. No, that's not the point. I'm not a Muslim. Let's grow up here. I'm a Christian. I believe in Jesus. I know that Jesus died on the torture stake for my sins. Yes, I'm a Christian. I believe in Jesus. Hallelujah. I love my Jesus. Thank you very much. But I just think it's so childish how you as a person will not have any kind of dialogue unless somebody agrees with you. You as a person are so thin-skinned that you cannot handle the fact that there are people out there that disagree with you. You cannot handle that. You're ignorant. You're childish. All because you and I have a disagreement on politics? What? So you're only going to talk to people that agree with you? See, that's what I mean why this country is so divided. Guys, grow up, okay? First thing is first. Stay out of politics. Stay out of it. Stay out of politics. Both parties are corrupt. Let me say that again. Both parties are corrupt. Let me say it one more time. Both parties are corrupt. And it doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or a Republican or an elephant or a donkey. It doesn't matter. This country is split. And not talking to each other is flat out childish. You need to act your age, not your shoe size. Hi, this is Eli West. If you like this platform, make sure you hit the like button and make sure you hit the subscribe button. And tell YouTube that you love my channel and that you're going to continue to hit the like button and hit the subscribe button because you're trying to support my platform. And guys, let me just say this. If you want people to help you out, you need to be willing to help other people out. You know that I'm trying to grow my YouTube channel. If you like this content and you like what I'm putting out there, you need to hit the like button. You need to hit the subscribe button. We as a country, we got to learn how to help each other. Whether it's in real estate, building homes, building houses, whether it's our schools, our public libraries, next door neighbor, whatever. We need to learn how to help each other. So make sure you hit the like button and make sure you hit the subscribe button. Thank you. I love you and continue to love yourself and stay away from politics. Bye.